They were once untouched forests, home to koalas and other endangered animals. But the bulldozers are rolling in, and it's all in the name of clean energy. Those on the front line of the renewables rush are sounding the alarm. They say saving the environment shouldn't destroy it.
It's flattened everything, cleared everything. It's disgusting, it really is disgusting.
So this was all forest, just a few months ago.
It's truly shocking to how anyone could think this is great for the climate.
It's a complete ad hoc race.
Central Queensland is known by many as the place where cane, coal and cattle country collide. It's a fairly remote region and it's a powerhouse for the national economy. But lately its industrial and environmental landscape has changed.
We need to decarbonise, but we need to be smart how we do that. And this is not smart.
Stephen Nowakowski is a greenie at heart. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find a nature lover quite as passionate as he is. He's a wildlife photographer and a former candidate for the Greens. How's the drive?
Oh, long, but yeah, no, it's good.
We first meet Stephen, who's driven 12 hours from his home in Cairns at the Dalrymple Bay coal terminal south of Mackay. The stockpile you see here from the region's mines is largely exported to make steel, but some is thermal coal for making electricity in countries like India, Indonesia and China, which alone is home to more than 1,000 coal-fired power plants.
In Australia, we've got 18 coal plants. So in the scheme of things, it's a really small number. And my attitude is we shouldn't be trashing our wild places and places of high biodiversity to try to rush to close those 18 coal-fired power stations. We really need to slow down, take a big deep breath and get this transition right for this nation.
They're getting it wrong, says Stephen, 2 hours south of Mackay on the Great Dividing Range at Lotus Creek.
All the climate modelling is showing that all these high elevation areas are critical for the survival of our wildlife.
And yet it's where he captured this footage last month, tree clearing in an area home to koalas and other endangered species for a 46 turbine wind farm. It's a long way from anywhere, but that's the reason why you're so passionate about protecting it, isn't it?
Well, that's right. What's happened is they're targeting these really remote areas. Obviously, they don't want to be near infrastructure and homes, and they're going out into these bush areas.
Lotus Creek Wind Farm is a $1.3 billion project creating 300 jobs in its construction. The land being cleared is not of national park status, it's cattle country under pastoral lease. But nevertheless, Stephen says saving the environment shouldn't come at the expense of the environment.
I think it's delusional. Yeah, I think it's complete delusion for anyone to say it's okay to clear forests to combat climate change.
The project's owners, CS Energy, telling A Current Affair,
extensive work has been undertaken in the design to avoid and minimise any clearing required. Any unavoidable clearing is being offset by restoring and protecting an area of forest nearby that is more than 10 times larger than the project's footprint.
But Stephen is also worried about the cumulative impact of further projects in the pipeline.
We've mapped around 41,000 wind towers across Australia so far. But there is no plan. It's all being developer-driven. So developers come in, such as these developers and others, they'll come in and cherry-pick where they want to go.
So why build them here? Well, there are two main reasons. Firstly, the Great Dividing Range is windy enough that it's worthwhile farming the wind here. And secondly, transmission lines currently connecting ageing coal-fired power to the grid are a stone's throw away. This is the Clark Creek Wind Farm, about an hour south of Lotus Creek. It too runs through privately owned cattle country.
in any construction phase, you're going to have some impact. It doesn't matter if you're duplicating the Bruce Highway or you're building Olympic stadiums in the middle of Brisbane. When you construct something, there will be some impact. But the renewable energy industry exists for the environment, not in spite of the environment.
And Chris O'Keefe from the Clean Energy Council says the industry is also creating jobs.
Now, I'm talking about blue-collar jobs, well-paid jobs, sparkies, concreters, truck drivers, crane operators, you name it, they're getting paid to do great work here, and I think that's a good thing.
And landowners, in many cases cattle farmers, are also reaping the rewards.
If they can get better access roads to fight bushfires, if they can get payments to ensure that drought isn't as financially terrible for them as inevitably it does become, well, isn't that a good thing?
I didn't ask about money. All I wanted to know was how many roads there were going to be and how wide they were going to be.
David Hill is one of those landowners. He's been farming and firefighting on the land here for 55 years and will soon benefit from stage 2 of the Clark Creek project.
It'll bring, the access and everything for us, and plus, some incomes.
I think we're learning as we go that there are good ways to deal with implementing wind farms in regional and rural Australia, and there are bad ways.
Grattan Institute Energy and Climate Change Program Director Tony Wood says we've underestimated the task at hand, but
fundamentally we need rooftop solar, large solar farms and wind farms, both onshore and offshore, to be able to achieve this transition successfully.
This is the future of Australia's energy transition, and whether you like it or not, coal-fired power has done a really great job for Australia over many, many decades. But it's getting old and it's going by the wayside. So you've got to replace it with something.
We're looking at many millions of hectares that will need to be disturbed.
All in the name
of green energy.
It's an intriguing debate, isn't it? And CS Energy, owners of the Lotus Creek wind farm, sent us a list of the things they're doing to minimise the project's environmental impact. You can read their full statement on our website.